your ball.
Remind me to tell you about one of our episodes after. It's not even like really important, but after the pod. Because I'm not going to say it on the
Okay,
pod now that we're
got
live.
it. Suspenseful.
Yeah, right? Oh no. Wrong thumbnail. Did I not download it? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Let's get started in 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
I'm gleaming, Chris. I'm just glowing. This was a great week of football. Sadly, not so great for our wise picks. And when we get to breaking them down, we left a lot of easy picks on the table this week. And I feel like we were done for that. Maybe it's because we did it on
Is it because we did
Tuesday.
it so early? Yeah.
Yeah. But there was definitely some easy picks out there that we just left hanging. Um, but the Pats won, the Commanders won. My football team, my college team was on a bye week, so that was great. NBA,
My college team would be great.
oh, they didn't. I didn't see the score. Who'd you guys play?
Washington. They blew a 20-0 lead in the third quarter.
Oh, that stinks. Um, the NBA starting soon, so I'm excited about that. I'm getting into the weeds of all the sicko basketball stuff. But this podcast is about NFL Week 5. We'll do a little bit of Eagles preview at the end. I feel like that's going to be a stomping, so I don't think there's too much to preview. Um, but we can, and I guess we can start out. We didn't talk about it. Well, did we do it real quick? Not only are the Pats back, but so is Mac Jones. He's here to take the job of Brock Purdy. The the Niners, of course, beat the Rams on Thursday night. We don't need to recap that game. That was over, I know, just about a week ago. But anyways, let's get right into it. We'll right into our wise picks. We'll get into the winners. I was gonna say part of my gleaming Spencer Rattler, your pick finally won a football game.
Finally.
It was a
I
long
mean,
time coming. He beat the 0-11 allegations. He's now 1-10, and this was the comeback down to earth Giants fans game. Jackson Dart looked crappy. We kind of warned. I feel like we warned everybody on the week 4 recap where we talked about how Jackson Dart had the short field against the Chargers every time. He did what he needed to do, but he didn't look spectacular. Everyone was writing like he was savior of New York already, which can eventually still be the case. But bad game against the Saints. Fumbles. I think 3 fumbles by the Giants. The one with Jackson Dart where he just drops the ball. That was exciting to see. That he was untouched and just completely dropped the ball.
I
Um,
was channeling like inner Daniel Jones on that
oh
one.
yes, yep, he was channeling inner Daniel Jones. Scatabo sadly fumbled. Um, I think that would have hit our touchdown part. No, I don't think we had him in that one, but that was the week before.
No, that was the week before.
Um, but the Saints came in, or they were at the Superdome, and they got their first win of the season. So that was good to see. We have one winless team in the New York Jets, which was sadly one of your picks as well. Which we can get to in a second. But good for the Saints for not being the worst team in the NFL, and good for Spencer Rattler for getting that done.
Was that what this game was? It was who's the worst team in the NFL or in
I
the
think,
NFC, I guess.
yeah, I think it has to be close to it. Especially with
Carolina's 2-3.
especially with the Titans getting a win too. That was
Yeah.
it was bad looks for Giants fans. I mean, just New York, just the bottom of the NFL yet again. I don't think that should be a surprise to any New York fan, but it is a damn shame for the city of New York. Um,
Yeah. The Giants were up 14-3 in this game
yeah.
in with like 12 minutes left in the second quarter
Hmm.
and didn't score points the rest of the way.
Yeah,
That's tough luck.
it is a tough look.
Punt,
They
punt, fumble, 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 return, touchdown, interception, interception, turnover on downs. Like, that is brutal.
That's as bad as it gets. I forgot about the interceptions, honestly. That's 5 turnovers for him, which is not a good
Yeah.
look.
Nope.
And it's funny because like not only did Jackson Dart get all this hype, Scatabo has been the love child of all these football nerds, and we loved him too on this pod. I mean, I still love him, but that was a bad fumble by him. He was blaming the gloves. He needed new gloves on the sidelines. Um, that was kind of a childish look, but I think that they'll get some offensive momentum going, and it will not be this week against the Eagles. Um, but again, we can get to that. We can get to that later. All right, we're kind of all over the place already, but let's. I want to save the Pats for last because I want to just sit there and gloat for a minute and be happy. So we're gonna go to Philly, Denver. Speaking of Philly, coming first loss of the season for the Philadelphia Eagles, and there was a lot of ref ball that got blamed. Um, there were some ticky tacky fouls that really hurt the Eagles multiple times, like
Yep.
couple plays that could have sealed the game that just the refs gave right to the Denver Broncos. Um, and I mean, their offense looked good. They were producing in the first half and into the third quarter, and then it just went stale in the fourth quarter. The biggest story I think is Saquon Barkley getting 6 carries all game. Just makes absolutely
And
no
they were
sense.
up 17
Yeah.
nothing.
Yep.
Like, I feel like when we do this, it's always like the excuse is, well, they got down early and kind of had to abandon their run. They were up the whole game. That doesn't make any sense.
Yep. And Bo Nix, it was looking like the real sophomore slump for Bo Nix. We've
Yeah,
already
he looked
seen.
awful.
Yeah, he looked terrible for 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, he really woke up, and the Broncos ended up winning. They, yeah, I can't fathom the 9 carries to running backs that happened in this game. It doesn't make any sense. The offensive coordinator definitely, I'm sure Eagles fans are calling for him to be fired, but he definitely needs to wake up and realize what kind of offense that they have. And Jalen Hurts actually looked good throwing the ball today. There was the
Mhm.
long ball to AJ Brown that the clip's going around, where it's like I can't believe Jalen
Yeah,
Hurts
it's not
missed
running.
him. He stopped run. Yes, I'm glad. Yeah, he stopped running. Um, it was it's funny because it reminds me like the when we were in high school and we were like playing catch and playing two-hand touch football. I remember Riley Nolan always saying like, "Why'd you slow down? Like, why'd you stop running?" I was like, "Man, I'm just not that fast. Like, I'm just not. I'm just like you're expecting more from me." But this is AJ Brown we're talking about, and Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts, not
Well,
Riley
what he
Nolan and
said
me.
was he looked up, expected the ball to be there, and it wasn't there.
Yeah,
So then he stopped the route.
yeah, and it's a bad excuse, but it makes somewhat of sense, right? Like he just expected it to be there
Yeah,
earlier. So
I
it's
guess.
still part of it is I guess mistiming. Part of it is he stopped running. But like you can't blame that on Jalen Hurts. Like I feel like that was a
And I
pretty
don't
good
like.
call.
I feel like when you're ready to route like deep down the field, like you're not. I don't know. You would
Yeah, like,
in
he didn't have
every
any
scenario,
breaks or anything.
the ball's not there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like, if it was a break and you expect, like, you to an in and you're the play is you get the ball the second you do the in, yeah, that's when you slow down a little bit and stop running. Um, but yeah, when you're on a go route, you gotta Forrest Gump that, just
You
go all the
catch
way
and
to the
run
end zone.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the defender was right behind him. So weird game by the Philadelphia Eagles. One that they definitely should have won. The and I don't know. I don't think that this is like a detriment to the Philadelphia Eagles in any way. Like I think that
No,
they're
I
going to be
think,
fine.
like, if you are gonna look at it on the positive side, it's like they went through a gauntlet of a schedule to open up the season, and they're 4-1.
Yeah,
And now you get the Giants at home, or I think it's in New
at
York,
home.
but you get the
Oh no,
Giants,
it
and
is.
then
You're right. It is in New York.
you get the Vikings, and then the Giants again. So it's like it's kind of a soft landing from a brutal start to the season where they beat 4 playoff teams from last year, and a Cowboys team that definitely has the potential to make the playoffs.
They they should have lost the Rams game. Besides like defensive
Yep,
heroics, I guess in the fourth quarter. Like this was kind of the opposite of it,
special teams.
and special teams.
Yeah, it was. And that's the NFL, right? Like these one score games, weird stuff can happen, and it's on their way for the most part this season. Like they've kind of been playing with fire. So
Mhm.
I think one of these games was bound to happen where like there are a couple ticky tacky penalties. The intentional grounding one was weird. I thought if we're going to talk about the penalties at all because they didn't call it and then they did call it and then they
Oh
picked it
yeah,
back up. It was
yeah,
like snip snap snip snap. I don't know. They're all. It's such an odd penalty because intentional grounding is like you don't judge it based on whether it's intentional or not. Like it's just if the receiver is there, like who's to say he was or wasn't? I thought it could have gone either way. The late hit on Bond, kind of the same way. Like, was it technically a late hit? Yes, but when he left his feet to make the play, the guy was still up. So, like, it wasn't a dirty play, but like technically late hit. And then they missed the pass interference on Goddard on that last drive. But like, if you don't want the refs to decide the game, then don't blow a 3-score lead in the fourth quarter. That's kind of where I'm at. Or I guess
yeah.
2-score lead, 17-3.
Yep, I
Mhm.
agree with that. And that's where you run the football and you control the game and you bleed the clock out.
Yeah, they went 3 and out twice.
Yeah. So it was just a weird game plan. And you're right. Don't let the refs decide it by playing sloppy and being and having a weird game plan to begin with. Um, so it's it's funny. It's one of those things where it's like, and I know the Philly fans where they had Penn State, they had the Phillies who are your Phillies who are down in the series, and they they kind of needed this loss, the Eagles, but it was kind of a poor week for them to lose. It was a bad week for the Phillies fans.
So bad.
Yeah.
And the Phillies games were so bad. Both of them.
Yes. Yeah. Um. All right. Let's go to. You want to do the Chiefs or the Seahawks? Both games are pretty
Uh
crazy.
yeah, let's do the Chiefs first. You
So
had the Chiefs spread, right? That was the
yeah.
pick.
Yep. I had Chiefs -3. I wish it was +3. It's funny. This was like when you expect when the Chiefs lose, especially this year, that their offense isn't gonna look good, and then that's kind of how the other team wins. And their offense looked great. Honestly, it looked great the whole game. Um, Mahomes being the leading rusher yet again was not a good sign. The 99-yard pick six was really what was the difference in the game. And it was sad because like that was my pick was because Mahomes does not throw interceptions and doesn't turn over the ball. And the Jags defense is really all turnovers, and at least it has been all year.
Yep.
And of course, Mahomes was completely at fault on that pick six, and it goes 99 yards. Um, it was funny because like, of course, I was rooting for my picks, but it was nice to see the Jaguars have a like, they're never on prime time. They're never at home on prime time, at least, and it was nice to see them not in London have a big game against a big opponent, um, and winning,
That
coming
was
out
was that
against
like
them.
a moment for Jacksonville?
Oh,
Because you're right,
definitely.
like, they never are on prime time,
Nope.
especially at home. So, like, I know, especially this season where through a couple weeks we've kind of been watching this team like, how are they 2-1? How are they 3-1? Like, they're just getting lucky with turnovers. Like, Trevor hasn't been that good. And then they beat Mahomes at home in a game that, like, for a while it felt like they had no business winning. Um, it's a pretty big deal for them. Like, they're
I
now
think it
4-1. They're in the
it's definitely a
driver's
moment.
seat for a playoff spot.
Yeah,
Maybe they're for
definitely.
real.
They definitely could be for real. And this defense, the turnovers that they cause is for real. They didn't have uh, Walker in this game either. So they have like Hines Allen is an elite pass rusher. Their
Yep.
cornerbacks are pretty good. They're playing Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball pretty often, and he's grading out well for PFF. And and, and we can talk about the Trevor like the moment was the Trevor Lawrence falling down and then scoring the game-winning touchdown. Um, But before we talk about that because that was a spectacular play. The I thought he looked terrible all game. I thought Trevor Lawrence looked awful all
It's
game
kind of
long.
been the story of the season,
I
right? Like,
know.
you're winning these games, but at no point have you been impressed by him. And
No.
that last play, like, sums it up perfectly,
Hmm.
where it's like he falls on his face and then just they find a way to win.
Yeah.
He finds a way to get in the end zone.
The like he had another pass over the line of scrimmage, which I feel like he leads the league in. Um, and that was like the first quarter, and I was like, I feel like every 10 plays, I was like, I'm out on Trevor Lawrence. I'm so out on Trevor Lawrence. And then like they just kept going down the field and driving down, and they had a big drive at the end of the game that they eventually scored, and and they finally got some sort of Brian Thomas production. It wasn't
Yep.
anything spectacular. They got 80 yards, 4 catches. They got a big Travis Hunter catch on offense, so that was nice to see. And like there was no stats here like wow you. And that's kind of how it felt playing watching the game. It was like none of this wows me. They have the fumble at the goal line. They fumble at the goal line too. Ugh, that was dumb. Um, just jumping over everybody. And I know that works, especially with a tall quarterback. But the fact that it just got punched out so brutally, it was like, oh, the Chiefs are gonna smoke these guys. Like
Yeah.
that was it. And and then of course the Chiefs go 99 yards. And I felt like after that it was over. Like as you said, multiple times in this game, you're like, there's no way Jacksonville comes back. This is over. This is done. And they just hung around. They kept hanging around, and they eventually got the win. And you're right. That last play completely sums up Jacksonville's season so far. They just fall down, somehow get back up. Now they're 4-1. And what was the one loss again?
The Bengals game to Jake Browning.
Yes. Yes, where they fell down at the goal line and went for it on fourth down, and Brian Thomas drops it. Um,
Yep.
yeah, it's a strange season for the Jaguars, and I do think that this is a moment for Jacksonville. And I'm so glad that they're wearing those cool retro uniforms because that
Dallas.
oh yeah, that's what really sealed the deal. Whereas like when I saw them come out in that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be at least a good game. Like they're gonna be back with it. And then they had that moment, they had the pick six, and being in those uniforms just makes it that much better.
Yep. Totally agree. I feel happy for Jacksonville
Yeah,
because, like, we haven't seen this level of excitement since I don't even
Saxonville.
know that first since Saxonville, yeah, because like, they made the playoffs the one year and they had the epic comeback, but, um, I guess that was pretty cool. But
Oh, against the
even in the regular
Chargers.
season,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
But
that
even
team
that,
didn't
it
feel
was
bad.
like everyone was ready to bet against the Jags in the next round.
Yes, yeah.
They but it's funny because I don't think that this was just like kind of like the Eagles game. I don't think this really tells us much about the Chiefs. I don't think it's a. Do you think it's a burial?
I don't think so, because you're right. Like the Mahomes thing, like that interception changes the whole game, and that's just it's so out of character that like I mean, they're two of their losses now are like you could pretty much blame on turnovers inside the 10-yard line,
Mhm.
which is like I mean, you had the Travis Kelsey drop against the Eagles, and then this pick six from the 1-yard line. Like those things are not normal, especially for this team. So I would expect them to clean it up a little bit. Point where you're not having dreadful turnovers inside the red zone. And I still think they'll be fine. So you texted me like right before this game that we missed our chance to bet the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. We might have been gifted it again here.
Yes, I think we did. And I need to see the odds because when we before the game Monday night, the Ravens had lost terribly. The Bills had lost, and the Chiefs were back into like fifth place to win the Super Bowl, maybe third. Like they, especially in the AFC, they were right there. And I'm gonna look right now and see what we have for the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, and they're still the fifth favorites to win the Super Bowl, which I think is pretty crazy. Um,
Yeah, I see plus 1,000.
yeah, I
I
see
what
plus
were they at the
900
start
on
of the year?
DraftKings.
Like 800.
Probably.
Not that much different. How are the Ravens still plus 1,600?
That they're expecting Lamar to be back, I guess. Yeah, they're the second AFC like to win the AFC, they're plus 450. So I don't know if we like of course we didn't check because if we checked we probably would have bet it, but we didn't even check what it was when they were 1-3, 1-2.
Yeah,
Um yeah, 1-2.
that would
So, but they do play the Detroit Lions this week. So, and on Sunday Night Football. So there could be if they get blown out by the Lions or if they lose to the
be
Lions.
favorite.
They are favored.
That's a weird line.
That is a weird line. I don't know what you do with that. That's hard for Vegas though. I'm not gonna lie. That's what do you do with that? Because you don't want to
Yeah,
lose a bunch of
because it's
money
kind
on
of
the Chiefs.
desperation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I was looking at their schedule. They don't have a lot of breaks. They play the Raiders. Um, they play the Cowboys. They play the Chargers, who knows who's playing at that point, and they play the Titans and the Raiders again. So they have a couple gimmies, and they probably will sneak into the playoffs and then just be the team that nobody wants to see. But if the
Yep.
Chargers keep keep losing players and keep blowing games because of it, they I guess the Broncos though. The Broncos are right there for the AFC West. So maybe everyone who bet the Broncos AFC West before the season will get their wish come true. But it is going to be tough, and it is funny when you look at it. Last year, we were like they had all these one score games. How are they going to be able to do it again? And all of their losses has been a one score game.
Yep.
So it is
Really work.
yeah, it goes right back like sometimes the regression to the mean does work, and that's I guess sometimes you win the one score games, sometimes you lose them. And
Yep.
so I'm not too worried about the Chiefs. Um, but especially when Rice comes back, I do feel like that offense is going to be
Mhm.
firing on all cylinders. But yeah, they got to stop the turnovers, and they've been playing good defense too. It's just they've been coming up short. And if honestly, like if they just tackle, if Chris Jones doesn't think the play is dead after Trevor Lawrence falls, and they just touch him, that we're having a completely different conversation. And they're plus 450 to win the
Yep.
Super Bowl, not the conference. And everyone's parading about the Chiefs again. So it's I mean that's just how the NFL works. That's literally the sliding door of the NFL. And and then we're talking
Yep.
about what's wrong with Jacksonville. Why can't they get their offense
Keeping
straight?
this.
Trevor Lawrence looks so bad. Um, so it is funny how one play really changes the whole narrative for the whole week.
Yeah, absolutely.
The best game of the week, on bias aside, Tampa Bay Buccaneers Seattle Seahawks, the best uniforms, clear maybe two of the best quarterbacks in the league, I guess. Baker's definitely one of them, but Sam Darnold is the I guess. And the just a great ending. Of course, Darnold's gonna Darnold at the end of the game. There was an interception. The Baker Mayfield's gonna Baker Mayfield drives right down the field, and they win that game. It was just it was back and forth the whole time. It really just looked like both guys were just feeding the Ohio State receivers just over and over and over again. And my brother was at that game, and I was jealous. That was
He's there.
yeah, he was there, and it it seemed like just a blast to be at. Because especially he doesn't care about either team who wins, so he was just
Right.
watching some points and watching some great touchdowns. Um, Sent me a video of the Baker Mayfield moon ball. He got the whole play on camera. That thing was a freaking missile. It just goes like it was targeted. It was awesome. And yeah, I mean, I it's funny because like it sucks that we lost this bet. We lost this wise pick, but just what a great game, and I'm just glad we got to see these two guys ball out, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty shocked that the Bucks were able to put up that many points on the Seahawks defense.
I
Um,
I do this was another sorry, not to cut you off. This was another
yep.
um Tuesday symptom because almost all of the secondary for the Seattle Seahawks were injured come Sunday. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's a tough break. Um, and like the only reason I even made this pick was because I thought the line was weird. I thought it was weird that Seattle was favored by 3, even being at home. And I think I checked later in the, it was still like the line moved up to 3.5. So it's not even like anything changed there, which I thought was, I still don't understand why. Because like my gut would have told me Bucks all day. And like in a game like this, you kind of have a feeling where like you knew that it was going to be last team with the ball is gonna win the game. Um, and if you give me the option of Darnold versus Baker, like I'm taking Baker every time. And Darnold throws the big pick on their last drive, sets up the Bucks perfectly to go kick a field goal. Um, I feel like that's the difference between these two teams right now. Like they're relatively similar teams. I think Seattle's defense is a little better when healthy, and the Bucks probably have better playmakers on offense when healthy, but the quarterback is definitely a gap there because Darnold had an awesome game outside of that last drive. Like
Yep.
one of his best games as a Seahawk, maybe his best.
Yeah, and up there with like I'd have to look at the Vikings games again, but one of his best games of his career. And
Yep.
when it comes down to that time, the crunch time, that's where you want Baker Mayfield over Sam Darnold. And I don't like doing these conversations, but I want to just because I want to give a little shout out to him. But why is Baker Mayfield not front runner for the MVP?
Who is?
I think it's still Josh Allen.
I
I
mean, I
uh
feel like he should be. I have
I
to look
have
at the numbers, but yeah, I don't know how he wouldn't be.
I mean they're 4-1. It's been a one score game every time. It's been a fourth quarter comeback or comeback drive every time, and
Yep.
he's been balling. The let's see awards. Let's see what they look like. MVP Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes somehow, and then Baker Mayfield. So I kind of like
I guess that's predicting the rest of the season. If like those are
yes,
the odds.
yeah.
So like if you did the MVP ladder right now, I bet he'd be one.
I would hope so. Like I feel like there's a stigma with guys where it's like oh like he flamed out in
Yeah,
Cleveland, so we're never gonna give him
make
a
him an MVP.
yeah. And I think that would be a detriment to like a complete
I mean,
comeback
Brock
story.
Purdy was going to win MVP 2 years ago. If they didn't blow up that one game against Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the game for the MVP. We nailed
Yeah,
that
pretty
one. I
much.
remember previewing that. We completely nailed that one.
Yeah, we did crush that one.
Yeah, I mean, like, you looking at it, who else who like, Stafford is plus 1,200, Jordan Love is plus 1,200. Jared Goff's plus 1,500. And so I guess like right now it's just kind of defaulting to Josh Allen. They're just expecting them to blow out all these teams that
Yes.
they're going to be playing. And if the Chiefs, if the Chiefs come back from 2-3
Mahomes
and
has
like
good numbers this year too.
I was going to say wins the division, he leads the team in rushing. It would make sense to give him the MVP, but as of right now, the Week 5 MVP it's got to be Baker Mayfield. I can't see any other
Yep,
argument.
I think I agree. This is definitely like for all the conversation we had about Baker too this offseason about like, last year everything went right. He was in a perfect situation. We really expect him to repeat, and he's looked better through 5 games this year than he did last year.
And nothing's gone right. Oh, their whole
Yeah,
offensive line
right.
is injured. They just lost Bucky Irving for hopefully only that last week, and it doesn't matter. It really
No,
doesn't matter. They lost Mike Evans. They're just getting back Chris Godwin, and he's making all these guys like he's revitalizing Sterling Shepard, who I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize was on the Buccaneers coming into the season,
we're in the NFL.
or in the NFL coming into the season. And
I mean, if yeah, if they didn't hit on Ibuka, like they'd have nobody.
yep,
It'd be Sterling Shepard and I don't even know what else. Kate
Cade
Otton,
Otton, Tez Johnson.
S. Johnson.
So they've been injury riddled and still 4-1. No excuses for Baker Mayfield. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And that was funny because I was thinking about one watching Baker. I was thinking about how you bought his Browns jersey like the day he was drafted, basically, or close to it. Um, and I was like, we've always loved him.
Yep. Well, although we did have the one podcast, Baker the worst ever.
Yes. Well, yeah,
But
and
I
but that wasn't that
think
us.
that was ironic.
I think yes, because we were saying that
Yeah.
every time that anything goes wrong, they just blame Baker and they call him the worst
Yeah.
ever. Yeah, that was so we were on top of that too. It is funny.
Yeah.
Funny enough, one of our most popular podcasts. Um,
It's just it's the war of attrition.
yep.
It's just been on our feed for so long.
Yeah, that's true. All right. The
Anyway.
now I get to gush about the Pats. Man.
Oh, do you want me to do the Jets first?
Oh, yeah, we can. I thought we kind of covered it a
I
little
well, hold on.
bit.
I'll tell you one thing. If you look at the final score, it's way closer than this game was.
Yep.
That's all I'll say. The Jets had one good drive at the beginning of the game, and then for the next 45 minutes, got their asses ran out of the building, and then scored twice in garbage time.
It was the same thing as Monday Night
It was
Football.
hard. Monday Night Football, like I thought they had a pulse. This game was like they never even had a shot to get back in it.
Yeah, it was
It
ugly.
was so brutal. I was so all in on the Jets too. I was like texting people before the game, like Jets money. 'Cause they moved to what do we have them down as
Two
on
and a
the
half is what you
picks?
had them.
Plus or minus?
Plus.
Yeah, it moved to -1.5.
Really?
Yeah. The whole Cowboys roster is half the Cowboys team was out.
Yeah, they had no. He was throwing to Ryan Flournoy.
It was like 4 out of 5 offensive line starters or something ridiculous like that.
They
And it
they have
wasn't even
taken now
close.
that Joe Burrow's injured, they have just taken the Bengals. We called them the Bengals, Walmart Bengals, going into the season.
Yeah,
They're just the Bengals now. They're the best
Bengals.
offense and the worst defense. And their defense looked fine
Yep.
until the garbage time. And I think Justin Fields just is becoming one of those just amazing garbage time players. And like you see the stats, this isn't his fault. Like I've seen that like 3 times this week. Like they're 0-5, but it's
Oh,
not Justin
was
Fields'
it not
fault.
his fault?
And they like they post the stats and it's like, yeah, but like how about we post the stats when they're in the game?
Like the first 3 quarters of the game. Literally.
And it's funny and
Outside of
kind of
week 1.
sad because that's how well and the Bucks game. Bucks game they were the opposite.
Yeah, but the only reason they came back is because of the blocked field goal.
Yes. That is true. That is true. And it's It's just sad for the Jets, honestly. I feel bad for them. I
They're the
feel bad
worst
for Aaron Glenn.
organization. I guess I feel bad for Aaron Glenn, but why is their defense so bad?
Yeah, their defense sucks.
Like
They
before the
can't
season, we're like they have some pieces there. Like this defense is defense and run game, and they haven't been able to do either.
the there was a stat they missed 13 they had 13 missed tackles in the first half. First half alone. Which is pretty impressive. I don't know what they ended with.
Against Javonte Williams and Ryan Flournoy.
Yep. And 2 catches from George Pickens. Seeing the score, you would have thought George Pickens had 4 touchdowns.
Disgraceful.
Javonte Williams,
So
by the way,
anyway,
you have him in our dynasty league. Just
I know.
absolute league winner for fantasy football. It's I
Yep,
I guess it
he's
was
like
like
RB3.
yeah, he's RB3. I think Dak Prescott is quarterback 1, and I know that Terrence Ferguson, that's not his name.
Jake Ferguson, yeah,
Jake
he's
Ferguson.
tight end one.
He's tight end 1.
By
So,
a wide margin too.
yeah. Yeah, he's like gonna break the record if he stays on pace. He's gonna break like the tight end receiving record or catches record by like 50 catches or something like that.
Well, the one game he had like 13 for 80. The Bears.
Just-
Damn.
And it's funny because like that's not really. I don't know why like I don't know why people just were so down on the Cowboys. But I feel like Dak
Yeah,
Prescott's done that before with the tight end, and maybe even Jake
yeah, I think
Ferguson.
so.
But
Dalton
he's
Schultz.
yeah, Dalton Schultz and Witten when he first started, but he was just feeding them over and over and
Yeah,
over again. They would get like 8 catches a game for even not that many yards. But yeah, it's pretty impressive what they're doing on offense. And Javonte Williams, it's like he hit 25 and everyone was like way too old.
trash.
And like he looked bad last year, but he was coming off an injury. Like this is the year after the
Yeah,
year
it's like
after.
the classic second year back from the injury.
And he got signed for $3 million. And he might be I don't know why he's not the starting running back for the next 2 years. Like unless, he of course can always have a complete fall off, but I don't know. They shouldn't spend a premium on any running back and just keep him around.
He's gonna get himself paid after this year. Although for running backs, getting paid could be like $8 million
I
for
was
two
gonna say,
years.
yeah. You just give him Devin Singletary money and you're good to go. Um,
Voter.
all right. Now I can gush about the Pats.
Go for it.
This we talked about it in the preview episode. You mentioned Jane Daniels and in the Bengals game. This was even though he got no passing touchdowns, this was the Drake May game. I mean, he looked incredible. The the sack, the almost sack to completion to Diggs was
Yeah.
insane. This was the Diggs and Drake May game. 10 of his 22 completions were to Diggs. Um, he wanted a touchdown so badly. On one of his catches where he's like on like the 5 yard line, you can see him banging his hands on the ground. He knows he wanted that touchdown so badly. Um, they played this game perfectly. I mean, besides the Ramondre Stevenson fumble early, that was it was like bound to happen. I'm glad it was
That's fair.
early. I'm glad it was early. And they love Ramondre. They're not giving up on him. They Vrabel said that they need a skill set. They need to work on the fumbling, but they need a skill set in the run game and in the pass game because they like how he pass blocks. I thought that we'd be able to run on the Bills, and we really didn't, besides the 2 rushing touchdowns. But it was just kind of a sloppy game we got Josh Allen
Sloppy.
nervous. It was a sloppy game from the Bills. They had what, 2 fumbles or 1 fumble? Um, and then the and then
No,
the inter
pick and a fumble.
yeah, they had the interception, which was awesome. Um, and it was great to be in prime time again. Probably one of the biggest Pats wins since the Brady era has ended. And man, it was great. Came down to a game tying kick or game winning kick, 52-yarder from the rookie. after missing those 2 extra points in Miami, I don't think he's missed since, knock on wood, and he's gotten himself 2 game balls off 2 game-winning kicks with 50 plus yards. So, he's getting his confidence out there. Um, the I feel bad for Gibson, the weapon. He's had a great
Yeah,
start to
oh
the
for sure.
season. Um, it is good for Travion Henderson owners in fantasy football and believers in real life, but it is sad to see he got wrecked. Like that was a he got like hit by a truck. Luckily, even though he fumbled, luckily the Pats recovered it, but he was not able to recover himself, and sadly he will be out for the season on an ACL. But that's kind of the only negative of the game. Like you couldn't have asked for anything else as a Pats fan. Of course you would want them to eventually start beating teams like this by a touchdown, but we just want to start beating these teams. Like this is like we just want to be in the conversation. And the the Bills run out this XFL uniform. Uh they're getting
I
their
thought you liked the uniform.
Yeah, I did until I saw them on the field. I didn't like them. I didn't like them. And maybe it was biased, just like seeing red out there, but I didn't like the silver buffalo. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
fair.
that was weird. Um, but yeah, I mean, we have our run defense for the Pats is incredible. They need an edge rusher at some point. I don't know if
Mhm.
they're gonna I don't know if they're gonna trade anything in the season. I don't know who would be available, but they absolutely need a pass rusher soon. Someone like I want to give $30 million to someone. Give me like let me spend 25, 30 million on a good pass rusher. Someone that can really change the game because that was the run game for the Bills was non-existent. And the passing game was I mean, Josh Allen had all the time in the world. Every pass, he had all the time in the world. And luckily, we had the interception that we needed with Marcus Jones. He's had a great start to his season on special teams and on defense. Um, they had a lot of great Gonzo being out there was very important. This game isn't won without Christian Gonzalez out there. And yeah, I mean, this was just a great game. I did forget how annoying Chris Collinsworth is when when your team is playing in Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, when you're like really listening to what they're saying.
Yes. Yeah, and it's like everything that Drake May does, it's like, "Whoa, Josh Allen would have done this better." And it's like, dude, they're down by 10. Like they did a whole highlight reel of the left tackle for the Bills, and they
Mhm.
did it when they're down by 10. And I think the Pats were on offense. And my dad and I were looking at each other and like, what the hell are they doing? Like, is this just like pre-scheduled? Like, is this planned? Um,
Yeah, definitely.
and but being on the main stage, being on Sunday Night Football, getting that victory, seems like a lot of momentum for the Pats. They are facing the Saints next week. For the first time, I think, in forever, all of the picks, like from the NFL, like the NFL picks, have you seen those? You've seen those graphics. Everyone has.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's all Pats. It's all blue. Um, it is a big, big letdown spot. Massive, massive letdown spot.
sad.
They need to pretend like that Bills game never even happened. And just build off the momentum. I don't know what you need to do. I'm not the coach, but it seems like Vrabel has these guys in the right mindset. They know they are underdogs in a lot of these games. Of course, this next one is they're not. Um, and they're ready to make some noise. That was making some noise. That was part of it. But it was just good to be on the map. It's good to be on the map.
You've got Saints, Titans, Browns next three.
6-2. 6-2's on the table. Um, See, it's funny. 6-2, and then at home against the Falcons. Now that is the biggest letdown spot of the season. That
Yeah,
if it happens, that would be the biggest letdown spot of the season. Um, I wonder what we're gonna do for running back. I'm sure we're just gonna sign some practice squad guy off something, but maybe they get frisky with it because clearly they don't trust Henderson. Uh, it's funny because every time he gets the ball, it's like close to a first down or halfway there, or he gets a first down, and he looks explosive, but they clearly don't trust him enough to
Is it just
be
the
out
pass
there.
blocking?
I don't know what it is, and I thought the pass blocking was the good part. Like, I thought
I
at
thought
minimum
so too.
at minimum, like, we were just gonna get a good pass blocker, but I don't know what it is. And Gibson, he took after the fumble, it was all Gibson, and he looked good. And now that
Yeah.
he's out, um, maybe maybe we see a lot more of Henderson. Hopefully, we see it. Like I'm all right with having it be a split between Ramondre and Henderson. But if they're gonna pass the ball to the running back, if it's gonna be a plan like check down, just have it be Henderson. He's faster. He has the better skill set. Um, had Ramondre on kick returns after Gibson was out, and I was like, "This is the most nervous I've ever been in my life." Like,
I was
why
just
is
asking for a game-altering turnover.
I was like, "Why is he on special teams too? He's not even that fast. Like, he's a power back. Like, why is he on special teams?" Um, so luckily it didn't matter. It is nice. It's funny too. I didn't talk enough about Diggs, which I could go like an hour on Diggs, but it's just great to have a an alpha, a number one receiver, some guy you can trust.
Yeah.
Like that catch where his feet were in bounds and his whole body was out of bounds. I was looking at my dad and I was like, I don't think we've ever seen a wide receiver do that since like Moss or even before that. Like it was insane. Um, so I hope he gets a touchdown soon. He's definitely due. Back to back 100-yard games, and it was a great night in Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean that like you said it all. It's that feeling of of feeling like you're back on the map is one that's it's hard to describe because it's like it's euphoria.
Mhm.
Like you beat a team that no one thought you had any chance of beating. And obviously like your stretch of bad football hasn't been as long as some other teams, but still it's been a couple years now where, you know, nobody has paid any attention to the Pats, and for good reason.
Yep.
So it does feel like they've got all this momentum now going into this easy, tread lightly there, but easy stretch of the schedule, to really take advantage of, man.
I think part of it too is this was this was like Drake May never had a team never had a win over a 500 team, and this was this was it. And this was like, all right, we have a guy that keeps us competitive when things
Yep,
break down, when things aren't going right. We have a guy that can make the plays to keep us in there, and he has to improve. There was I will give credit to Chris Collinsworth. He did have a mention early in the game when he scrambles, he keeps his head down, and that makes it so he can't if he moves up in the pocket, he can't throw it like Josh Allen does. But once and then he's like 23 years old, 22 years old. So having him be improving, having him show that he could beat a team like this it is like what you saw with Jane Daniels last year, and it just gives you that that giddy feeling when you're like, all right, I'm excited. Like, and I already was like I was already there with him, but it was nice to see everyone be able to see him.
yep.
All right, I can move on though. We can keep going. The where do we want to go though? Where do we want to go? I didn't watch the Vikings
Or
Browns.
London.
We already told we already told people we're not watching these games.
That last Wentz drive was
You could tell me
pretty
about it.
special.
I didn't watch it.
I made a really nice it was a nice ball to Addison. I did you see the whole Addison thing that he got suspended from the first quarter because
Yes.
he was like off exploring London
Yeah, I
and then
did
he
see
makes
that.
the game winning touchdown catch. That was kind of cool. Weird situation. Yeah, I mean Gabriel was like serviceable. I mean, he definitely wasn't worse than Flacco. At least gave him something. I guess speaking of Flacco, he's off to Cincy now,
Yeah.
which seems like a death sentence. Like
He's gonna get killed out there.
putting that guy behind that O line. I mean, is he going to be much better than Browning?
I
Like,
don't know
he's
why
going to
you
throw
don't get a guy that's
360.
not 40 years old. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, and can't move at all. Definitely odd. Very odd.
Is that what he
That's
got
all
for
I
this
have
game?
on Vikings guys. Yeah.
Uh, Wilkins
It
continues to
was
look
fun to
good.
watch Wentz again, I will say. Like, some of the sacks that he takes are just awesome.
Cam Akers threw a touchdown too. I saw that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that's also all I got on this game. He didn't get a single rushing attempt, but he got a touchdown in the air. 32 yards too. That's not nothing.
No.
Ballsy call there. All right. Raiders Colts. We can wrap up in 2 minutes, just like the Colts did.
There are a lot of
Uh,
blowouts in this 1 o'clock slate.
oh, it was awful. It was a
That was bad.
terrible slate. Um, the 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 Raiders got beaten so bad that Anthony Richardson came in, and I think that's honestly all you need to know. Like that, that was that was awful. I can't believe that the Pats lost to them in Week 1, but
It feels like ages ago.
right, just growing pains. I feel like that's what I walked away with it as.
Yep.
And no Brock Bowers. They have no offense whatsoever. And you could always like after the Pats game, you could tell that Brock Bowers was not the same that he was during the Pats game before the injury. And he played through it. Now he's going to be out. Hopefully not multiple weeks, but it seems like it's heading towards that way. I guess we can walk away with that the Colts defense is actually above average and pretty good. But it's I don't there's nothing else really to say about this game. The
Yeah, I
Raiders
mean, the
got swept.
Colts, like, they're kind of a juggernaut right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be yeah, I will say next week we will learn a lot about the Arizona Cardinals. I think we've already learned, and I feel like I've already come to my conclusions about the Arizona Cardinals. But next week versus the Colts, we will know for sure, for certain, uh, how bad they really are.
Yeah, if they're ass, the Colts are going to run through them.
Yep, yep. It'll be that simple, honestly.
That's what Daniel Jones does.
Yeah, clearly, clearly. Um. All right, we'll get the blowouts out of the way, and then go to the interesting Panthers Dolphins game. This was the one that I was thinking about for the wise picks. That I don't know how we missed it. I don't know how we missed Texans
Texans being
minus one and
favored.
a half. It was
The
like it
Texans
was
have just been so sticky.
I know, but it was like almost a typo. Like, why wasn't it 11 and a half? Like this was,
Because they're
um,
1-3. They haven't looked good.
I get it, but the Ravens didn't look good and then had Cooper Rush. So it's like, and to be fair as well, this was another Tuesday pick. So it's like all of the defense ended up being out. Um,
Yeah.
but my God, was
I
this
saw
an
Cooper Rush play
ass
decent
kick?
games last year.
He did not play a decent game this year. It was,
I guess it's not a good matchup. Like, when you just do this on paper, it's like Cooper Rush versus a top 3 defense in the NFL, and then CJ Stroud versus a depleted defense, like, finally has a chance for a get right game. 1.5 wasn't that is insane.
it didn't make any sense, and I can't believe that we didn't take it. Um, the the Ravens are so depleted. They signed CJ Gardner Johnson. They
I saw that.
traded Dafe Owe for some safety on the Chargers. I never heard of the guy. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even remember his name looking at it now. So they're getting some safety help though, some secondary help. We'll see if that helps. Um, this was another one. Nothing to really say. The Texans they scored and then they
It was a
got blown out.
spanking.
Yeah. All right. What are the other? Were those the only two blowouts? Yeah, but there's only six
We hit
games.
the Cowboys.
Yeah, and the Cowboys were blown
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
that's
the Cowboys
weird.
were blown out too. Panthers Dolphins though. I thought this was gonna be a blowout. 17-0 for the
Absolute
Dolphins.
disaster.
Yes,
Absolute
absolute
disaster.
disaster for sure. The Rico Dowdle with Chuba Hubbard being out went for 206 and a touchdown. He had more yards than Bryce Young had passing yards. Just to keep that noted. And I mean, this was the best. It's funny because it's not like this was like a massive game and they did blow out a team 30-0, but it seemed like this was the most inspirational Panthers win that we've seen in a long time. Where it's like, all right,
Yeah, come
they
back. Yeah.
yeah, they came back, they had really good drives. It seems like Dave Canales is coaching this team well, and
Yeah.
like there was some hope here. Like this was after getting spanked last week, this was good, especially being like the first two drives. It was like, oh man, the Dolphins gonna put 40 on them, and
Mhm.
it wasn't even like a Tua turnover that which did it. Um, so it was they played great defense. The Dolphins couldn't run the ball for shit, and yeah, the Panthers took control. So good for the Panthers.
Yeah, good for the Panthers. It did feel like at first it was like a get right game for Miami. Well, not even a get right game, but after that win against the Jets, it was like, all right, now let's string together 2 wins against teams that are worse than us, like kind of cementing themselves as outside of that like bottom tier of NFL teams, and then it just completely flipped on them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is tough to just completely go silent offensively after getting up 17-0.
And then having a
Not a great
chance
look.
at the end
Also,
too with the Waddle touchdown.
yeah, 200 yards rushing against that hurts. I just saw a funny meme of like it was like Bryce Young after his 2 scheduled turnovers to start the game,
Yes.
like Tom Brady. It's kind of been true. Like that Cardinals game was the same way, where like just looked awful at first, giving the ball away, and then all of a sudden backdoor Bryce, but it wasn't even backdoor this time. Like
It's money
found a
line
way to win
Bryce.
this game. Yeah, money line Bryce. Yeah,
The
I did see another Panthers fan that says like this team's been 0-6 and 1-5 the last 2 years. Like 2-3 feels like they're is the best regular season they've ever had. I'm still out on Bryce Young. Like I still don't think they're good.
No, I don't either, but I don't think that they're a pushover. And which is funny
No,
because
I
after
guess
last
not.
week, we would have said that they were a
They got
1000% a
steamrolled.
pushover. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see Bryce Young he's going against the Cowboys and then the Jets, and then they're gonna get spanked by the
Yeah.
Bills and the Packers. But the Cowboys and the Jets, we'll have to see how he plays and have to see if he's building momentum on this and or not. He made some good throws. That Xavier Legette touchdown was like right where only he could catch it, right behind
Yeah.
the Dolphins defender. And yeah, I mean, good win for the Panthers. Their announcer was the Hornets announcer doing this game. Eric Collins, I think his name is, and he's the man. He's the freaking man. He's just so
I will
excited.
say I didn't realize that until after the game, but every time they cut to it on Red Zone, I was like, who is announcing this game? Because
Who's
like we watch a
yelling?
lot of football. We generally know all the announcers' voices, and I heard him, and I was like, who is this guy? I gotta say, I did not enjoy it. I was not a fan. And then when I saw it on Twitter afterwards, I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yep.
It's like this guy is treating every play like it's you know 10 seconds left in the Super Bowl.
It's just so the him just going and then like the Waddle cat like his voice gets so screechy and so high. It is I can see why people don't why you don't like it.
It's
Um
in the big moments, it's fun, but in like just like second down and 7, a 3-yard carry, it's a bit much.
oh man. Um but I like seeing the defense stepping up here at the end, especially getting that sack on Tua at the end. That was
Mhm.
good for the Panthers. Good hope for the Panthers. Now, do you think Meow Mix comes back after this win? Is like, hey, I'm just joking, guys. We're just kidding.
I thought, didn't they say that they're not? Did they release a statement?
Oh, I didn't see a statement.
They're not.
I saw the
Maybe that was
statement
from
that they
before.
they were
I don't
can't
think they
they're
will like
canceling the pod.
that. What?
that they were canceling the pod after the Pats lost.
Yeah, I think they got to be in contention for a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
It
good
is
point.
funny to think about like that they hopped on like right around Cam Newton's career ending.
Yeah. I just
Like I
never
think they
saw
started in
anything good.
2019. I think was his last year in Carolina because then he was with the Pats
Yeah.
2020.
Yep.
So yeah, that's tough.
It is tough. And it's funny, like, we spend a good amount of time doing these podcasts, so it's like it makes sense. Like if we were solely talking about the Browns, like we would not be doing no podcast for this long. Um but yeah, good win for the Panthers. I think you're right. If they beat the Cowboys though, you gotta make like a 20-minute pod. You gotta be like,
Yeah, man.
yeah, you gotta do something. Because
Well,
you
I
can
think
beat the
if
Jets.
they're real fans though, they will look at that and say we can't come back. Like now the team's winning. Maybe we were the problem. Like that's what
That
I
is
would think.
true. Oh, oh, could you imagine how brutal it would be if they like somehow do squeak into the wild card and Meow Mix is like, "Hey guys, like we just want to talk about the season and like this was such a great season, like we're excited for the playoffs," and then they just get their ass kicked in the wild card. Like that would be
Bryce Young like tears his ACL.
yeah, they would never pick up a mic again. That would be it.
Yeah, I
Um,
think once you're out, you're
I agree. You can't unless it like I would be like I mean, of course I'd be okay with them. Like I don't care what they do. They do whatever they want. But the I think the way to play it is if it is a successful season, you try again next season. But you
yeah,
gotta see
or
the
at least
finished
just do like a
product.
reunion.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're gonna preview the season, and then like we're gonna check in every once in a while.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll check in like week 8, week 9. We'll see. 'Cause maybe maybe it is us. Like maybe it's us. Um, all right. I want to save the Titans Cardinals for last because that was the goofiest game. The Lions was also a blowout. The Bengals came back at the end,
Another
but
one that looks way closer than it was.
at some point, I'm sure everyone saw it, the leading tackler, and I think tied with the leading tackler. No, no, no. But the leading tackler for the Bengals was Jamar Chase with 3 tackles. He has 5 tackles on the season. He has 5 tackles on the season. Um,
That's really upsetting.
they can't run the football. They finally got it to Jamar Chase a couple times, like a lot of times. Like he had a great game, all
Yeah.
in garbage time, really. And then they traded for Joe Flacco. I gotta shout out my brother who said Bengals Biden. He texted me that after Joe got traded there, and I just thought that was so funny. Uh, such a great name for Joe Biden or sorry, for Joe Flacco in Cincinnati. Bengals Biden. Um, all right, and then the Lions. I think they're fine without I think they're fine without the offensive coordinator. I think they're going to be good.
Yeah, I think they're okay.
Um, that's all we got on this one. Besides, I had
Yep,
Amon
that was
Ra in a
basically
touchdown
dropped
parlay.
out.
That was that was disappointing that Amon Ra did not.
Yeah.
Because I had Bill in it too, and he got it. And I was like, oh, if Bill could get it, like all I need is freaking Amon Ra. Like that's what's left. Like we'll be fine.
They scored 37 points. It
Yep.
was not one of them.
Yep. They just kept scoring and kept scoring, and I kept looking at it, and I was like, man, Brock Wright, Tesla, like give me a break. Like I'm okay with Sam Laporta and Gibbs. Even if Jameson Williams was out there and got a touchdown, I'd be all right
Yeah.
with it. But like, come on. Um, and then the goofiest game of the day.
Are you skipping my team?
You're right. We did skip your team. You got Falconed.
I
Congrats.
mean, I know I, I know the Pats had a good week, but
We
didn't do
this
great.
yeah, my bad. My bad. This was a reverse blowout. You guys were getting blown out and
It was a reverse blowout. Yeah,
then blew them
it
out.
was. I will say, I was driving over to a friend's house in the first quarter and had the game on the radio, and I was like, I told you, I was like, this game is already making me furious. Like, I'm ready to drive off the road. I'm so angry because it was like the first possession, the Chargers go down. They hold them to a field goal, and then Mike Sanderson jumps off sides on like a 7-yard field goal, and then they score a touchdown. And then first series,
First play, incompletion. Second play, design quarterback draw. Daniels gets clobbered and loses 2 yards. And I was like, are we out of our minds?
Just begging to get him injured again.
Running him right into the teeth of the defense the first week that he's back from a knee injury. I was like, and I couldn't, like, it was on the radio. So when they said design run, I was like, like maybe it was just a botched play and he was trying to get what he could. And then I get to my buddy's house and he was like, no, like it was a straight up draw right up the middle. I was like, what are we doing? Like, Cliff, come on now. So that made me angry. And they go 3 and out twice. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with this. Like, the defense can't stop anything and offense can stay on the field. Like, it's just turning into the Packers game again. And then Quan Martin punches the ball out of Quentin Johnston's hands. His hands were just waiting to rear their ugly selves. So anyway, that changed the whole game. They go down and score, and then LA doesn't score a point the rest of the game. It's worth noting that they were missing their 2 tackles. I think had another lineman leave during the game.
Yeah, their replacement
And
tackle.
So our pass rush did to their offensive line what they do to bad offensive lines. It's kind of become like their calling card through 5 weeks. Like, if you guys are trotting out a bad offensive line, like, we're gonna get home. If you throw NFL starters out there, like, we can't generate a pass rush at all. But like, so it's this interesting trend that, like, we'll see what happens against the Bears on Monday because, like, it's not a great offensive line, but it's good enough where, like, it seems like a team that'll be able to slow down their pass rush. That's kind of like that's literally been the key in each of their games so far. But the biggest story obviously was Bill. You mentioned him earlier, getting in the end zone twice, over 100 yards. It was like they finally decided to start feeding him, and he looked awesome. Average 8 yards a carry. And, like, eye test too. Like, it wasn't like he just broke off one big run and that boosted his numbers. Like, he looked really, really good. I think their O line is a very skilled run blocking unit. They also protected Jaden well. I think run blocking might even be a bigger strength of theirs. And then Jaden looked good. Like, he had a rough start, but that ball to Luke McCaffrey at the end of the first half was pretty awesome. The third
50 yards.
Debo at the end. Yeah. Which I don't know why they went for it on that 4th down. I guess they figured that if you kick field goal, you're up 2 scores anyway. So you might as well go for it to try to go up 3 scores. I thought it was a little bit weird, but then they scored on it, so I was obviously okay with it. But, like, Debo is their saving grace right now offensively. Like, nobody else had more than 2 catches. Everybody had 1 catch except for Blue, and then Debo had 8. Like, if they didn't have him, I don't know what they would be doing on offense. But it sounds like Noah Brown will be back Monday. McLaurin, I'd still say, is 50-50. I don't expect him to play. But yeah, Debo's been awesome. Seems like we have Jaden back and healthy, and just got to keep feeding Bill. But I think this offense is in a good spot. Defense week to week.
We do gotta mention the punt return, great punt return from Lad McConkey that got
Yeah.
called back. He just destroyed your special teams, hurdled over the punter. But they did call roughing the punter on it, so it got called back.
And it was a blatant roughing the punter.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask because I didn't see the actual hit, but I saw the punt return.
Yeah, it
So
was like hit him in the leg when he went down. So it was like it had to be roughing. That was a 4th and 15 too.
oof. So it's automatic first, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's brutal.
So that was tough. And they had a 4th and 1 where, like, Marion Hampton tripped, got hurt, and then Conklin dropped the ball. So, a lot of miscues on LA's end. And it is funny, like, this game and all the stuff about Herbert, like, being the if man, like, he is. Like, he plays a really
Can't
good
help
game.
himself.
and they just like so much went wrong that was not his fault. Like there was one I kept seeing somehow I got onto Chargers Twitter and they just kept compiling like clips of these like the one he makes a perfect throw over the middle, gets called back, so they have a 2nd and 20, and then he makes a perfect throw to Keenan Allen and pick up a first down. That gets called back too, and then all of a sudden it's like 2nd and 28. It's like, what are we doing here? Oh yeah. And the interception, like, it wasn't that bad. The ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage, so it was just kind of dumb luck that it ended up in Sanderson's hands.
Yeah, he had to make
Yeah,
up for
Herbert,
his
like,
he had to make up for
really
that
good.
special teams play.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
It's truly like for I honestly feel this is the most bad I feel for an NFL franchise because they were they were 3-0. It was like, oh my God, they're not going to Charger this season. And then 2 weeks later, they've just gone full Chargers. Everyone's injured. All these silly mistakes happen, and it's not even their fault. Now they don't have O'Marion Hampton. He's on IR for who knows how long. And yeah, it's just bad beat after bad beat. It's a classic Chargers symptom.
Yep.
But it is a good win for the Commanders. It is good that this was a very possible Chargers coming off a loss. They had a bad game against the Falcons. Jane Daniels might be slow coming out, and then the schedule really gets hard or harder. I guess the Bears isn't that hard, but then you got and I guess the Cowboys isn't that hard either. Then you
Somebody
got
on
the
Twitter
Chiefs
said that if they don't go 4-0, then they're an unserious team.
in
So,
the next 4
yes.
against the Bears, Cowboys,
Bears, Cowboys,
Chiefs,
Chiefs.
Chiefs, Seahawks. Yeah, that's not true. That is not true at all.
It's just people like have no idea how the NFL works.
Yeah, and
Like I'll take 2 and 2 and perfectly fine.
I was gonna say, you wanna win that Bears game. That would be
Yep.
alarming. The Cowboys always get up for the Commanders, and probably CeeDee
Yep.
Lamb coming back. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that would be a terrible loss. And then you just got to split with the Chiefs and the Seahawks, which I think is possible.
Yeah.
If you guys beat the Chiefs on Sunday night, that would be sick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be really fun. Man, the Chiefs are in like every primetime game. God damn. I guess that's what happens when you make 3 Super Bowls and you have Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes.
The Commanders don't play at 1 o'clock until December 7th.
I heard after I blacked out for Mariota, I heard that um it was like the last home game at 1 o'clock, right?
Yep.
No, they
Until
until
Dallas
Christmas.
on Christmas.
Yeah,
So
until
it doesn't even
Christmas Day.
count.
Yeah. I guess the Eagles one is TBD, so that one I guess could be at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, if they're both into play, it's a Saturday too, so it can't be 1 o'clock.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And then the last game, we'll see what the stakes are.
Well, and that's not even at home. So it is pretty crazy that there was like one Commanders 1 p.m. game at home.
Yeah, the first 2.
Oh, I guess and the Giants too. Yeah, I forgot about that thing.
Yeah.
All right, now are we good? You got it all? I think
Yep.
we're good.
Yep.
Okay.
Titans.
Titans. Good for the Titans. Good for the Titans. I'm
Yep.
proud of them. I wish I bet like this was like the 1 week I didn't almost bet the Titans, and of course they win. This was just the goofiest game of all time. The fumble right in the goal line by DiMaccaro, who was part of our touchdown parlay. Um, that's
That
how
would
does
have
that
won
happen?
it anyway, right? Fields didn't get in.
No, yeah, no. Fields didn't get in. Like, how does that happen?
It's every 5 years this happens. Like, how does it happen? I will say, I did it in backyard football one time.
How
So
did
I
they
do
even know?
understand, and it sucks.
How,
Somebody said something. I like dropped the ball for the end zone. Like, you didn't get in. So I understand how it happens, but it is like it can't happen.
the
And I was very like I took account of I was like, I'm sorry guys, it can't happen.
yeah, hands up, hands up. That's all you can say. The what I think was the craziest part is like he is you can barely even tell that he doesn't cross the goal line. The only thing that you could tell is
I
that
know.
it's moving in his hands. Like if it wasn't
Yeah.
moving in his hands, if he waited a half a second, it wasn't moving in his hands. He could have done whatever he wanted with the football. And yeah, fumble, touchback, Titans drive, get a touchdown.
I mean,
The
literally cost him the
yeah, yeah, it would have been
game. I
28 to what, like 14, something like that. It would have been over.
think it was was it
No, it would have been
21-12
13. 13.
time?
I think 13.
2013.
Yeah. So it would have been over. It would have been over. 28 to 13.
Yeah.
Would have been done. I know we talked about next week is the nail in the coffin for the Cardinals. If they completely get blown out, they're done. But I'm already done with them. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of the Cardinals. Um,
I think I am too.
and I know like if James Conner's in there, they might be 3-2. They might have a couple more wins. But I'm tired of Kyler Murray. I'm tired of this Cardinals team. Their defense looks good and then completely collapses after they're up 3 scores. I mean, I think every game they've been up 3 scores and then just never score again. Besides the Seahawks game, they were down the whole time. But
It kind of just feels like everyone has to go. Like, give me a whole new team,
yeah.
at least on offense.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like I don't know if Gannon is an issue. Like it seems like he's a pretty decent coach. He got fined for punching DiMaccaro in the chest.
$100,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, I guess it's not too much money for an NFL coach, but it's a lot of money
A
in
lot of money.
yeah, it's a lot of money. Six
I mean,
figures.
was it that bad? I didn't think it
Have you
was that bad.
No, I didn't think it was that bad either. He was clearly frustrated and like I did think it was a bad look though. Like,
It was a tough look, yeah.
yeah. But it was also a tough look for the running back. So it's like two tough looks I guess don't make a good look, but
I feel like it's being made out to be like a war crime.
yes, it was.
It's not like you punch him in the face. That would be something.
That would be great. That would be awesome, honestly. Socks him. He'd probably get fired, right?
Yes,
the and then the other goofiest play, Cam Ward throws an interception. Cardinals guy gets it, fumbles the ball, and then Tyler
so
Lockett
ridiculous.
picks it up in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Titans.
Yeah.
So two game-sealing plays that they had that they just literally fumbled away. Just lost it.
Can you imagine having the Cardinals in that game and watching that go down? Like both of those things go down.
No, but
Like that would make me never want to bet ever again.
yeah, I don't know what I would do. The
I just don't bet on the Cardinals.
my uncle my uncle has season tickets for the Cardinals. I
Really?
I don't know I don't know how he does it. I don't know how I would show up back to that stadium again after watching that game. Like you're gonna show up for the Packers? I wouldn't I wouldn't show up. I wouldn't show up. I'd sell my tickets to some Packers fan.
A Packer fan, yeah.
um I don't know, man. It's just that was such like a season over loss. I don't know how else to describe it. I really don't know how else to describe it. Like that's just a you're done. You're done loss.
Yeah, the Titans did not play a good game by any stretch.
No,
Like, what was
no.
Ward's final? Didn't Ward have like 110 yards and a pick?
I don't think it was that bad. Let me look. It was he had 265. That last drive really the last couple drives really did it though. Um Calvin Ridley had 131, which was like if you had him in fantasy, like there's no way you're starting him this week and of course it's probably going to be his best week of the season. Um
Yeah.
so their offense was moving quite like a little bit and but definitely not near enough to win a game. So this is just all around terrible look for the Cardinals. Feel bad for my buddy Kieran, who I know is like he's just been pissed ever since. He doesn't want to watch football anymore, and it's one of those games.
Yeah, it just kills your love for the game.
Yep, yep. So I don't know. I told him that the Drake May bandwagon it has an extra spot. It has some open spots. People can join. I wouldn't mind. They can join on. Um, but yeah, I don't think he's buying it. I think he's just gonna. He said he wants Lenoris. He's done. He's ready to get Lenoris.
Not that bad though.
What?
Like they're gonna beat some team. They're not that bad.
Yeah, and I guess like if the Jets don't take him, or the Browns don't take him, then
Yeah.
he could go to them. They might become like this is. I'm telling you, this is one of the.
Raiders.
It's like momentum that just carries on through the rest of the season. Like
Yeah.
it's just bad mojo. Mojo is way off, and maybe they beat
Dolphins
the
too.
Colts.
I think the Dolphins are in the same boat with that
Yes.
loss.
Yep. The mojo is
Not
just
as
shot them.
ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, because like you can't really blame the injuries. It's just the running back, and I guess that running back was the one who fumbled on the goal line and cost it to the game. But I guess it is. I don't know. It's still bad mojo, just completely bad mojo. To end off the episode, so we were running a little long. I know when did the Phillies start? They didn't start already, did they?
908.
All right, that's a tough start, but it's in
Yeah,
LA, right?
season.
That's why
Yeah.
you're gonna be tired tomorrow. Um, to wrap this up, the Eagles Giants. I don't think 7.5 is enough. I would take 7.5.
The Giants are just gonna get punished.
I do. I do think the Giants are just gonna get punished.
The only thing that would make me say no is because it's Thursday night and those games are weird, but like I feel like they're not gonna score a point.
They have been weird, and they have been good this year. I feel like the Thursday night games have been pretty good.
Yeah, it's the last couple have.
But you're right. So it might be weird. It might be a little bit closer than we think. But I would take. I think I might adjust it and take like Eagles minus 13. Like I'm ready to just bury the Giants here. They can't.
Yep.
They're gonna have. They have another wide receiver out. They're gonna be throwing to like Jalen Hyatt and what's his name? The short slot wide receiver.
Wandale.
Wandale. Yeah. That's it.
Who picked up Jalen Hyatt in our fantasy league?
I had him
Is
for
he on a roster?
I had him
Yeah.
for a roster. I got rid of him. I had him for a roster. I didn't even think I waited till Sunday. I think I saw Chigakonkwo and I was like, oh, I'll take him instead. I might pick him up again at some point. All right. Well, that does it. Thank you all for listening. Anything else, Chris?
No,
All
I'm
right.
good.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see everyone